According to theists, as humans without a God, it would be impossible for us to be moral. If there is no God, how do we have morality? Where does it come from? Who gets to decide right from wrong? Let's say for a moment that we have absolutely no clue. Even if a God does exist, it is not where we get our morality. It's illogical to think that any God interested in morality and able to create this universe gave us all morality but did not give all of us a desire to use it. A moral and omnipotent God would not find any reason to make a world with pain and suffering. If there is a God, we must change our view of its personality. Receiving our morality from a God is implausible when we observe the fact that no religion has a 100% moral population. Neither do atheists, but none of us claim that we're 100% moral, or that we have a magical source of morality. We're able to face the reality that this is an imperfect world. However, whether morality is instilled by a God or a God's presence creates it, far too many religious people show us that God and religion have no moral effect on them. As a moral atheist, I'm told that even though I don't believe a God exists, one does and is the source of my morality, whether or not I know it or care to admit it. If that's the case, why do we need religion or belief in a God to be moral? One would think that with a God as a source of morality for atheists, everyone could be perfectly moral without contributing our hard-earned money to churches and mosques. The holy books of our main religions, the Bible and Quran, aside from being obvious works of man and not a God, contain gross examples of immorality either committed or commanded very directly by the Abrahamic God. These include, but are certainly not limited to, murder, rape, incest, misogyny, torture, slavery, hatred, destruction, infanticide, and child execution. What could possibly lead us to attributing morality to this God? The fact that he gives birth to himself as Jesus Christ not only poses a problem of self-contradiction between an immoral God and a moral Jesus, but at the same time, we find Jesus to be immoral. He attempts not to spread morality through a kind word, but belief in himself through vile threats. Jesus himself, however, demonstrated morality was possible without Christianity or Islam when he spoke of the Samaritan who was moral before ever hearing of Christianity and Islam. The Bible and Quran are great for demonstrating a couple of things. If there is a God, he is immoral. And, God or no God, we do not receive our morality from a deity, a holy book, or religion. The fact that theists very blatantly adhere to only the nice parts of the Bible or Quran, while they conveniently ignore the bad parts, shows us that God can't be trusted to give us morality, and as mere humans, we prove that we know better than God, and we proceed to act morally, even if it means disobeying his commands. As humans, we have the ability to look at the Bible and Quran and decide for ourselves what's moral and what's immoral. If we need those books at all, it's basically as a guide on how not to live. But the most important thing to realize about God and morality is this: God kills morality. Whether or not one exists, believing one exists with a severe punishment prepared for those who misbehave scares us into behaving. And that is not morality. That is being controlled by fear. If neither holy book ever mentioned punishment but just spoke of acting kindly as a requirement, we'd know that anyone who acted morally despite the ability and reason to do otherwise was genuinely moral. How can we look at the good deeds of a religious person and not suspect those deeds were done only for the selfish reason of wanting to both avoid hell and enjoy heaven? This doesn't mean at all that religious people cannot be genuinely moral, but it does mean that anyone doing nice things only in the name of God isn't actually altruistic to his or her fellow humans, but rather on a selfish quest to attain eternal pleasure and comfort. A genuinely moral person performs kind acts only for the sake of performing kind acts, not for anything in return at all. And a genuinely moral person abstains from immoral behavior not in avoidance of punishment, but due to an altruistic desire to never contribute to any kind of pain and suffering. That is morality, and God or belief in one only annihilates the whole concept.